Hello everybody, my name is Scuttles and welcome back to some more Jurassic World Evolution 2 news. It's been a while since we've done one of these bits, but boy oh boy, is it a good one to come back on. In the past 48 hours, we have had quite the bits of news revealed. First and foremost, it was revealed that we were going to be having an Early Cretaceous DLC pack coming soon. Forgive me for my pronunciation on this, but we found out that this DLC pack would be bringing the Wuerhosaurus, the Minmi, which I always thought was Minmi, the Dsungaripterus, that's probably extremely wrong, as well as the Kronosaurus. And just earlier this morning, Jurassic World Evolution 2 posted on their YouTube channel the new species field guide for the Kronosaurus. Now, I'm probably not the best person to be giving my opinion on this matter, due to the fact that I myself have not actually gotten to the whole aquatic section of the game yet, but based just off of first impressions and what I do know is in the game, I wouldn't say that this Kronosaurus really offers anything all that different, other than the fact that it is a different species that we have in the park, if that makes any sense. It doesn't look like it's really bringing any new sort of class into the game, or any new sort of like animation types. It seems as if it's just like the new model itself, as well as I'm sure like some sounds as well. But nonetheless, it's still always exciting to get new species, just because it gives us that little bit more creativity and a little bit more variety whenever it comes to making our parks exactly how we want them to be. If we move towards the very end of this species field guide video, then we can actually find that this whole DLC update will actually be coming on the 9th of December, which is very soon, only 8 days away as of the time that I'm recording this. But just you wait right there, folks, because there is more. Apart from just having the DLC become available on this day, there will also be the first update for the game coming out at this time as well. So if we move over to the Jurassic World Evolution 2 forums, we can actually find out some more information on this. For starters, it just announces that this pack will be coming out on the 9th of December. Furthermore, something pretty interesting for those of you that are in London is it says here that if you find yourself in Hyde Park on the 8th and 9th of December, you can actually go out and see the Kronosaurus come to life over the Serpentine after sunset. I'm not sure exactly what that means, if they're gonna... It sounds like Frontier's actually gonna go out and do like a big... I don't know if it'll be like some sort of holographic sort of thing, or if they're actually gonna have some sort of big Mosasaurus animatronic sort of thing out in Hyde Park, but either way, it sounds like it's going to be something really cool. So if you happen to find yourself in the area, I'd love to know what happens. If you just so happen to be there, then please be sure to record it, or at least hop onto our Discord, link in the description below, and tell us all about it, because this sounds awesome, and I can guarantee you I'm not going to be in London around that time. Moving on, if you've been waiting for the information regarding what will all be available in the free Update 1, then here's the point for you. It says, releasing alongside the Early Cretaceous Pack is free update number 1. The Jurassic World Evolution 2 team has been hard at work making sure that this world evolved is even bigger than before. Update 1 will introduce more playable maps, more building sets, rock perch points for flying reptiles, as well as several other quality of life changes, as well as bug fixes, of course. For a start, it says that we will be receiving building sets for both the Department of Fisheries and Wildlife, as well as Jurassic Park. This paragraph here says that Update 1 will include a full set of DFW buildings, from restrooms and lagoons all the way to hotels and viewing platforms. Furthermore, it says that they're also going to be releasing an additional Jurassic Park themed building, specifically for lagoons and aviaries, so you can have marine and flying reptiles in your Jurassic Park era sandbox. And obviously these are always good things. No matter what happens at the end of the day, if you're just getting something new added into the game, it's a good day, because even if you never use it, it at least gives you that little bit of extra customization options to help your parks be that much more unique and different from everybody else's. In my personal opinion, I always think that it's better to have more options than less options, and this is exactly what that is doing. Moving on to campaign sandbox levels, it says after update 1, we can be using the 5 campaign maps in the sandbox mode. We can revisit the Arizona Desert, the Washington State Mountains, the Pennsylvania Airport, the Forest of Oregon, and Yosemite National Park, all in sandbox mode, so that we can create the most amazing dinosaur parks that we can make. Now, I don't think that this will be the case, but one thing that I would like to at least remain a little bit optimistic for is the possibility of dropping the borders a little bit more and possibly even building on the Pennsylvania Airport. I don't know if they would expand into that area to where we can build on the airport. Probably not, if we're being totally honest. But I do think that would be awesome, and even if we can't do it here, then I guarantee you some modder will go out and do it if they haven't done it already. Modding is already a thing in this game. I haven't covered it on the channel just because I don't want to mess up my brand new Jurassic World Evolution 2 game, but it is out there. You can actually already go and check out videos on these mods on different channels such as like the Gaming Beaver, Best in Slot, all those big names. They're already covering the mods. I just don't know if I personally want to risk it yet because of what it did to my previous game, but it is out there if you want to go see it. Looks like they've got some cool stuff. There's even like Sid the Sloth from Ice Age, which was extremely tempting for me. I almost broke and went into modding because of that, but I'll just throw a clip up on screen if you want to see that. Okay, next segment. Flatten Sandbox levels. It says, do you prefer to start with a blank slate in Sandbox mode? Well, after Update 1 you can. When you start up Sandbox mode, you will now have the option to start with a completely flat, treeless version of any map you want, which you can then modify the topography and flora just as you wish. Again, this isn't anything major, it's just another one of those little quality of life features that can make things so much easier if this is the route that you want to go for. I think we've all been there. Any of us that have ever played in the Sandbox mode for Jurassic World Evolution, the original game, I'm pretty sure we've all been to this point where we just go and flatten the entire thing and take out all the trees so we can design it straight from the ground up exactly as we want it to be. Now we don't even need to do that anymore. We now have a perfectly flat map that we can just go in and start terraforming exactly to our heart's desires, rather than having to flatten an entire map and then start terraforming exactly how we want it to be. So that's absolutely awesome. It'll keep everything on a nice even plane for us, except for what we don't want on an even plane, ensuring that we don't have any of these random bumps in our paths and just jagged buildings with different heights. Next point. Rock perch points. Speaking of flying reptiles, they can now perch on rocks placed inside an aviary, letting you and your guest appreciate their majesty when they're resting between their flights. Now this is actually pretty cool because this is something that I noticed myself whenever I was playing what I believe is the Washington campaign. Either way, it's the one with all the aviaries and all of the flying reptiles. I noticed that whenever I'd place my aviaries down and insert all my creatures into it, that the only place that they would ever go and sit down was either on the feeder to eat food, or they would just go and sit on top of the viewing gallery, which was a little bit odd because every single creature in the exhibit would all clump together in one big ball on top of an aviary viewing window thing, as opposed to just sitting on the natural rocks like they do whenever they bust out of the aviaries. Now it looks like that'll be a thing of the past, and that they can just go and sit on the rocks inside of aviaries, which is really cool and of course just makes sense. Balance changes. It says they've made a couple of changes to the game's balancing due to the feedback that the community has provided. It says that the frequency of storms and disease outbreaks in Chaos Theory should be less frequent after this patch. It also says that disease outbreaks in easy and medium difficulty challenge levels should be decreased as well. Moving on, it says that they've made some tweaks to the dominance stats, which should cut down on dinosaur fights, as well as a decrease in the likelihood that a dinosaur will be injured due to these fights. And finally, it says that they've rebalanced the combat stats of dinosaurs that can be involved in group hunts. Last but not least, it says that Update 1 will also be coming with several accessibility additions, such as different subtitle colors for each of the speakers, an adjustable autosave frequency, and the ability to pause the game during cutscenes. Here it just goes on to talk about the specifics of when this will actually be released, so I'll leave that on screen for you to look at here as I just give my closing remarks. Long story short, I am extremely excited about this DLC. I can guarantee you that I will be getting my hands on it and will be showcasing it here on the channel. And unless you know for a fact that you want to just go ahead and buy this DLC, I would say go ahead and wait. Maybe come back to the channel here on December 9th or 10th, and then I can showcase them for you, and then you can decide whether you want to drop the money on it or not. Now, I'm not sure what price this DLC will actually be released at, but if we take a look at Steam, we can see that in the past these DLCs have come out anywhere between $5 to at most $20, so it'll probably just fall within that range. I'm going to go ahead and guess that this will just be another $5 to $10 pack. I don't think it'll be a whole $20 DLC. After all, that was the whole Return to Jurassic Park, rather than just simply being a dinosaur pack, which, as we can see in the past, is typically just around $4.99. So if I had to make a specific guess, then that would be my guess of just $4.99. But I guess we'll find out come December night. So again, if you're a little hesitant on just buying it before this ever even comes out, then be sure to come back here to the channel where we review them all together, and then hopefully that'll help you be able to come to a conclusion as to whether or not you want to drop the money on this pack. But with that being said, that's everything that I'm going to go ahead and have for us today. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I hope you guys are excited for this DLC pack as well as the first update just as much as I am. And I'll see you next time.
Species thrive in your park. Please keep us informed of any developments or incidents that may arise.